everyone, my name's Dave. If you're new to the channel, please take the time to subscribe and also give me a thumbs up. Okay, on this episode we're continuing on with the work on the interior of the boat and things are progressing nicely. Okay, so I'm working on finishing fitting out the galley. I have the sink installed and the tap, and I'll show you here. I have the waste installed, going out through a new through hull. But it was an existing through hull. It was a smaller one. I replaced with a bigger one to suit the size of the outflow that I've made for the sink. I've also installed a shut-off valve here, so when you're sailing and if the boat's heeled over and it goes below the water line with that through hull, at least it's not going to push back water back up into the sink, so you can just shut that off and then open it when you want to use it. I also put in this pump for water, which is just a hand operated thing, and it goes down to a hose which is going to go into a container for water, maybe multiple containers for water in there. I can store the ones there on the boat and just transfer them across as needed. So that's that, and the sink, as I say, is in place, sealed up around the back of the galley panel to the hull, and I'm just currently installing the stove in its permanent position. So this is one of the ideas that I had that hasn't made the cut. I tried to make the stove into a gimbal stove and made brackets and this sort of timber frame, and I tried putting counterweight down low on this little frame here, but obviously a Force 10 or the equivalent stove in a bigger boat has a lot more height top to bottom, which means you can get the counterweight of the stove down lower, well below the pivot points, which obviously gives you the balance, which I don't have in this because I just don't have that head height to do that. And I'm not going to cut down into the cabinets underneath the galley counter to make this work, because I want to rather have the storage space underneath. So this idea is going in the bin, but I just thought you might be interested in having a look at it. Right. Stick a little bit of construction adhesive. Okay, that's rock solid. Rock solid. Shaking the boat with it. Okay, so this stove, the way it works is it has separate individual little canisters which are sealed, and you insert them into the stove, into this part of the stove, and in that position there it's still safe. No gas connection between the stove and the canister. There's a little lever here you press down, and that locks it in place with a definite click, so you know it's connected. And then to put the stove on, it actually has a piezoelectric igniter built into it, and you just turn around and click it and nothing happens. What's going on? Oh, don't tell me now it's not working. After all that. Wait a second. And that's why. That's why. Okay, so that seems to be another safety feature built into it. I had it left switched on, wouldn't let me lock it in place. There you go. Now it's working. So another safety feature. For anyone that wants to say, oh, that's not safe, it doesn't this, doesn't that, you can't this, it could blow up. Even when you do something completely stupid, like leave it switched on and try and put the canister into it, it won't let you do it. So it's even safe when you're an idiot like me. Yeah, so that's the little cylinders there, and it slots into that mechanism there. And then when you push this lever down, it pushes it over, makes the connection, and it's locked in place. And then you can turn the stove to the spark, the ignition here, and away it goes. So you don't even need matches or a light or anything to light it, it lights itself. So it's all self-contained. And then when you finish using it, unlock, and it's completely safe. Then the cylinder is detached once again from the stove. I've decided I'm going to make this my settee area across from the galley, and to that end I'm going to glue on these battens here with the construction adhesives that are used in the V-berth, and insulate between them then as well. So I'm going back probably around about as far as there, which is in past where this bulkhead is for the cockpit, which will mean I'll be able to have a seating area here from this point here over, and also then sort of like a little cubby type thing here, it may be that far. So this will be like a cubby storage area in under here, but it'll be within the insulated part of the boat, if you know what I mean. Locker below the quarter berth, which is like a deep storage, and then the quarter berth itself, which is like a long storage area, which I could use to maybe put stuff like fishing rods or something like that in there, and stuff that's really not used all the time. And then this makes some kind of access here that could be pulled out to access that area there, like a panel that's insulated on the other side, so then I can just push it into place to seal off this side and then have that in there. So it'll be sort of like, I suppose, a dry storage locker, cool storage. So maybe in the bottom half there, in the locker itself below, I can put some sort of tins of food or something like that there for sort of long-term storage. Right, so that's the first level of the timber plywood strips there, all cut and glued in place and wedged in place. So I'm just going to have to leave that all to dry. Just have them all propped in here. Not such a nice day to the inside. Oh god, torrential. But weatherboards aren't leaking. I know where else it's leaking either, which is good. That is crazy. Warning, the next sequence contains physical injury, blood loss, and it is punctuated with multiple instances of swearing. If this kind of thing offends you, don't watch it. If on the other hand you don't mind, enjoy it. Ow, Jesus Christ. That wasn't good, Dave. The fuck did I stab me? Oh, that's what I stabbed myself with. Lovely. The broken light bulb. Oh, Jesus, that's good. That's a good cut, Dave. Oh, man. Oh, fucking hell. That's pissing out of me. That's not good. Well, that was a bit of drama, wasn't it? Oh my God. There you go. Blood and sweat put into the boat. Yeah, so I went to the car boot sale today and I bought this Bosch PMF 250 CES multi-tool, and the guy sold to me for the princely sum of €10 and said it's not working, or it's only working on and off. So I brought it home and he was right, it wasn't working. So it's in really good condition, so I figured it must be something pretty small. So I took it apart and had a look and poked around in it and checked to see there was power coming into it, which there was. I tried it with a little screwdriver just to see on both sides, and this one here came away. So I'm just after soldering this on. Took me about 5 minutes to do it. See the other one on the other side there, it's still in place. But that one it just pulled out when I just tried it with the screwdriver. So solder it back on, and let's put it back together again and see what the story is. Okay, so that's it reassembled, and let's give it a go. That's pretty good. €10 and 5 minutes fixing it. Okay, so this bit in the top here, which you have to try and close off to make my installation worthwhile, I've used the hot glue gun and a few little strips of timber and cut them out and glued them together in place to give me the shape I need to fill that void in plywood. So I have my template cut out or made, and then I'm going to mark out the plywood and cut that out to size. Okay, so that's pretty good. Let's go and try it in place in the boat and see how it looks. That in place, just sitting there, and there's a piece of plywood cut into place. This here is the frame of the push-in hatch that I'm going to put there. So that's just a frame. I have to make a face for that. Then plywood will go across the face with the close up, and then on the recess on the inside I can insulate that with the insulation, and that will make that warmer as well. And then insulate this and this face here, and then sheet those out with ply. These are the templates I made on the boat, and I'm just using them on the plywood to mark out for cutting out the plywood for the V-berth. And that's the two of them cut out. That's both of them coated with polyester resin on one side. I did do it outside, but I had to bring them in because it started to pour rain, so just have to suffer the smell of the polyester resin here in the basement. If you enjoyed watching this episode, please remember to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.